I want to welcome all to the Creve Coeur School District number 76 Board of Education regular meeting, December 17th. It is now 5:30. If you'll please stand and for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Linda Bailey.
Here.
Pam Greiner.
Here.
Brenda Cagle.
Here.
Val Reagan.
Here.
Julie Troop.
Here.
Rebecca Kern here. Judy Strong.
Present. At this time, we have down comments from the audience. If you have a comment, please stand. We have a 5-minute that we would like for you to follow. Is there any comments?
Randy Giddens, 821 South Creve Coeur Avenue. I'm looking at tonight's agenda. You have a lot of things to do, a lot of financial. And you know, for the past year, a little more than a year, I've been watching your financial close and asking a lot of questions, making a lot of inquiries. Some of the things that you're voting on is like the levy tonight for the different funds. All the different boards, the village, everybody's setting their levies this month. They have to turn into the county so they can collect their taxes next year. This last year when you did the budget and 5 board members approved the budget, there was a fund, something we never got before, they called it the TIF money. Mrs. Davis was supposed to check into that and find out what was it exactly. There was a couple of hypothetical scenarios given out, and to get a clear picture, I don't know if she got back with the board or not. I know there was a November meeting from the village had right here in the other gym. Mrs. Bailey attended, Mrs. Greiner attended, Mr. Thomas attended. I was also there. A lot of people were there. A lot of people that live within that new TIF district boundaries. And we learned at that meeting that wasn't TIF money that you received. It was an error. There was 2 TIF districts in the village. One of them had expired. The county was setting its taxes aside for the largest TIF district, and the error was caught, and that's the reason why all the money was sent back to all the different taxing bodies where it actually belonged. This $178,000 that belonged to Creve Coeur School District is based on the levy on the year that they made the error. So you actually received property tax. If you're convinced that it was actually TIF money, look at this year's budget. You got that $178,000, but you don't see it as a line item in your budget as TIF money. The reason you didn't do it probably is because you only received 1 check for property taxes, not 2. I know Mrs. Bailey tried to explain this and they never did straighten it out. I'm looking at your annual financial report, and it mentions in there, it says you got TIF money. There was no TIF money, it was actually property tax. So there's an error there. Another error that I'm looking at in that, just a quick glance through in that report, is I kept asking, how did you pay for the Litchfield building renovations? It wasn't budgeted. The year before it wasn't budgeted. In June there was a check that Ms. Davis wanted to pull. It was a $91,000 check. She said because of a budget things, it looks like we went into the red. Well, I thought you had budgeted last year, but by the time we got through the year, you took the money out of operations and maintenance, and it wasn't budgeted in operations and maintenance. All of those errors should be reported. That's the reason why you have to do an annual financial report. There were several mistakes Mr. Bailey pointed out last year on it, and I asked you at the last meeting, I believe, I'm sorry, Mrs. Sternall, so everybody knows who you is. And you said you talked to the auditor and he said it wasn't necessary to revise it. I disagree with that, and he may have said that or something, but if you have a copy of that annual financial report online, your version online, page 3, management responsibilities, And I don't know if it's page 2 or 3, but it's under the heading Management Responsibilities. And it talks about the errors in there. And that short paragraph's real important. If there's any errors in there, mistakes either by error or by fraud, that indicates to me the state board really wants to know what is going on. Did you follow your budget? Yes or no? Where did the funds come from? How did everything go? And Mr. Aldridge, I believe, is aware of it. I'm in the process of contacting the State Board of Education to review this. Do I misunderstand this? Does my board misunderstand this? What can they do? I mean, if there's something out there that I don't know, this board has a problem communicating that to people. But, I mean, I listen to the attorney from the village board, and I understand the tip. So, I just want you to consider that. And one other thing, this budget, if I understand correctly, Mr. Aldridge, there's money that you budgeted for the maintenance, I think on the life safety and that you're using matching funds out of the maintenance grant. And again, you didn't budget any repairs in the life safety fund. You budgeted renovations and things like that, but not to repair and stuff like that. So if you're spending money out of that, you're going negative. The State Board of Education says you're not permitted to do that except for payroll. To meet payroll is the only time you can go negative. So it's simple solutions to solve it. It's just this board has to say, hey, we looked at it, we read it, and we're going to correct it instead of keep, going the direction that you are going. You are setting an example for the kids, the staff, and this community. Do we set the example that we're trying to do the best we can and do it the right way, or we're just going to continue the way we're going? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Giddens. I've come to the conclusion that there are more than one way on doing things. The district hires professionals to let us know the direction that we should be heading. Obviously, we do not have accounting degrees. And so I do appreciate your comments, and those will be taken under advisement with our chief of executive. Thank you. Any other comments? Having none, we'll go on to our action items. We need a motion, please, for E1.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Discussion?
There is a correction to last month's minutes. If you turn to the page 3 under Principals Report, the word superintendent is spelled incorrectly, so we will make that typographical change. But just to note that for the agenda.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question about the payments list? Under page 3, there it says meals, travel, and hotel, $932.
Check number, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Check number 15109.
Shane, it's the one I asked you about right at the very beginning.
Thank you.
No.
I'm going to explain
For
it.
Thatcher?
It's for Courtney Thatcher. She went away for she did a presentation at some event, I don't know, some learning thing, right?
Yes, Ms. Thatcher. Ms. Thatcher was chosen to present a scholarly paper that she had done in her classes regarding writing and genre writing, which is it's a program that she uses in her language arts. It is a method of helping students think deeper and stronger through the writing process. So she was asked to present this paper with her professor at ISU, and it was a professional development event for her, and that was approved, not pending, but it was approved, and she is going to give 2 seminars to our staff here on the whole notion of the writing and the genre writing for improving ISAT scores. That's what she's working on her master's thesis in, is how this writing program helps kids think beyond just rote memorization on testing. So it was a very unique opportunity, and so went ahead and sent her to do that, and we will have our seminars and when she comes back in the spring. So.
Was it in the summer that she went?
No.
Oh, it's
the summer 2013 is tuition, and that's a tuition reimbursement she had just received
For her class.
for her classes that she had taken, and that was for I don't know, she just it had gotten turned in or did not get turned in, and she turned it in again, and then we went back and we found in a folder where it was there, but she was never paid. So this was just catching up and getting her tuition paid.
So are we in the habit of paying for teachers that go to seminars?
You've done that in the past, yes.
I'm just wondering, how much is their limit?
I don't know, is there a limit?
I just wondered.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a
I think
pretty
maybe we
good
should
superintendent,
Right.
yeah.
It's reasonable.
Rotation. I mean, so all teachers have the opportunity to do this, to go to a seminar.
All
They can
teachers,
submit it.
all teachers have, professional development seminars, all teachers, yeah, that is a part of what they do, all right?
But I mean, I just want to make sure that
Well,
all
this
people
one-
have the opportunity to go.
Okay, but this one wasn't out of state, and it was, obviously there was hotel, meals, and travel included in all of that. That was because it was above and beyond just going and sitting in and listening. She was actually presenting at a national conference. So, is every teacher here going to be able to go to Orlando, Florida, or San Francisco to go to a professional development seminar? No, I wouldn't say that's reasonable. But I would say that, a young lady who's professional scope here was giving a national paper presentation. That kind of deserved it. So, yeah, it's a case-by-case basis. It is,
I just wonder
to
if
be
there's a
fair.
limit, how much we're going to spend for one person to go to a conference.
Don't know.
Is this the full bill, or did ISU contribute at all to this?
No, she split expenses, some of this expenses, with the professor that she went with. So, no, ISU doesn't, universities don't pay anything, unfortunately. So.
Her presentation to the teachers will be at a sick day or something?
Yes.
As that?
Yes, it will be.
So if someone from the board is interested, we could sit in on her presentation and see how she represented. I have no doubt she's represented the district in an above manner, so.
And it's my understanding, she indicated to me that 2 or 3 years ago, she had gone to the district that sent her to San Francisco for the same, I don't know if it was the same conference, but it was the same writing process and genre. So it was a very good opportunity, not only for Creve Coeur, not only for Ms. Thatcher, but also for the school district to have one of our own,
Yeah.
giving a national presentation and being able to come back here and help us. Because if what she is studying comes through and her research does meet what she thinks is going to meet, this program of writing program that they are developing and using, she's linking that to the ISAT scores, to the higher order thinking that the park is going to be, what the next state standards are going to be. So she matches these together. She won't be here any longer. So if that happens, she's on her way to the book deals and things like that.
She needs to update us first.
We get 2 seminars.
And if she goes back to Orlando, I think board members should go.
Oh, well, I can write that into the grant.
Do you volunteer?
I can write that into the grant. You guys have to flip a coin.
Yeah, probably so.
The newest one.
It was
The
not.
newest one!
I'm thinking the oldest one, sorry.
It
Okay, everybody got my questions, so we don't need to discuss those, right?
Right,
Okay.
right.
And answers, I should say.
Any other? Okay.
One thing from last month, survey console that we were asking about, Ms. Bailey. We went ahead and canceled it because we did some investigation and found out that it had not been used in about 2 years, so.
I didn't think so good deal. I mean, it's only $15 a month, but it adds up.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not using it, and I didn't see that it was when I investigated it, it wasn't a necessary service for what I think we need to be doing, so
Okay.
I canceled it. Next
Very good.
superintendent can buy it again.
Okay.
That was a good find. Any other comments on treasurer's report or the activity fund reports on the Sal or Parkview? Nope. Okay, then we need roll call, please.
Linda Bailey,
Aye.
Pam Griner,
Aye.
Brenda Cagle, Val Reagan,
No.
Julie Troop,
Aye.
Rebecca Kern, aye, Judy Strong.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Moving on to E2, please. Motion?
I make a motion to adopt resolution for levying of taxes for the year of 2013. I'm sorry. It's this, okay. Should I add 13-06?
I would. Second.
Any comments?
Yes, and you asked for everything you possibly could, percentage-wise.
9.99.
Okay, good enough.
Squeezed it as hard as I could. Yes, ma'am, I did.
I figured.
And if I'm not, I could be wrong, but that TIF money is something we reapply at the end of the year. Did you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Perhaps we can discuss that.
It's just got nothing to do with the
Nothing to do with
levy.
this.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with the levy.
I apologize then. The
Okay.
levying of the taxes?
Yes, levying.
Okay, the taxes that we, not the, okay, it did have something to do with the taxes.
It did.
Help me along, because the person that we hired to apply for those funds, you have to go seeking it. It's not an immediate
No.
event.
No.
Okay, that was my comment. I don't know if anybody else
This was
remembered
left-
that.
This was leftover money. The
Right.
TIF had really expired, but all this money, which if you will look, when you levy
Okay, we're not talking about,
Okay, when you levy taxes, you can see each one of these are going into that.
Right, okay,
And without getting into the whole TIF thing,
right.
we are levying taxes for the ed fund, for the O&M fund, help me here, transportation.
all the areas.
Social Security and IRMR
Thank you.
purposes, capital development, fire, life safety, tort immunity, special education, and leasing educational facilities and technology. Yep. So those are just the funds. The funds that are in our budget, we levy taxes for that, and that's how we pay for and supply our funds in those accounts.
When we receive that money, it has to go into those accounts, correct? Mr. Aldridge?
Yes, ma'am. It is apportioned to those accounts as the county assessor tells us.
Any other comments? Having none, roll call, please.
Linda Bailey,
Aye.
Pam Griner,
Aye.
Brenda Cagle,
Aye.
Val Reagan,
Aye.
Julie Troop,
Aye.
Rebecca Kern, aye, Judy Strong.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And that will be filed tomorrow.
We have action item E3, motion please.
Make a motion to accept the audited annual financial report for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013.
Second.
Discussion. We had plenty of months to review and bring our questions.
And I guess it comes down to, and I'm just going to go ahead and bring it up in your board packet. I discussed it in the information, and it's brought out by our auditor that we do not have enough personnel in the financial division, department, however desk, wherever you want them, office. So that gives us the distinction of having inadequate segregation of duties over the accounting function. We only have one person who does the money. Accountants, auditors would like to see, and their standards are, they would rather have 5 or 6 people have some little part and function of the finances. We don't have that. 80% of the school districts in Illinois don't have that. They don't have, you have a bookkeeper. Only the larger school districts have a business manager, a bookkeeper, a payroll clerk, and somebody who does the the contracting, and somebody who does buying the commodities and all of those things. And somebody who takes care of the deposits, and somebody who takes those deposits and recounts them and takes them down to the bank, and then they have those kind of people. We don't. That's what this is saying. It's saying that we do not have enough people to be adequate in our accounting functions, as accountants believe we should. All right? So let's keep that in mind. Because he says, I recognize that this is not practical from an economic standpoint to employ additional personnel to achieve an ideal segregation of duties. All right? However,
This up every year.
when this condition exists, the Board of Education and the superintendent's close oversight and review of accounting information, monthly financial reports, expenditure payment listings, on a regular basis, which we do monthly, is the best means of preventing or detecting error or fraud. Okay? So what he's saying there is that we are doing what we need to be doing. That the Board of Education receives the payments lists. I look at them in the interim, and I question and ask Shelley where we're at on different payments. Why are we paying this? What are we doing here? So those questions are being asked. The Board of Education receives it every month. You go through it. The treasurer's report is given every month. And then at the end of the year, some person from the outside sits over our shoulder and looks at all of this and tries to see if any discrepancies are found. And there weren't. There are not. This is a clean audit. The school district was doing what it was supposed to be doing. That's just a standard management finding from all auditors, for small school districts. So it's unfortunate, but he has to say that, but it doesn't take away anything from the fact that the audit was good, clean, and we got nothing but praise from Ron Hinton, who came in and did the audit. So.
Thank you. Any questions? Comments?
I'm still uncomfortable, and I've asked Mr. Aldridge the question, everybody else got my questions, I'm sure, about that 32,000 that's showing up as a negative. And I know you can't explain it, but I'm just saying, I'm not. And it's all to do with the grant that was spent in 2011. Because it's still showing up as a negative balance of $32,971. I don't think there's anyone that can give me an explanation.
And at the same time, no one's saying to the district, it's wrong, you did it right.
I agree. I agree.
Okay. We'll go forward. Roll call.
Linda Bailey,
No.
Pam Griner,
No.
Brenda Cagle, Val Reagan,
No.
Julie Troop,
Aye.
Rebecca Kern, aye. Judy Strong.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Moving on to action item E4, please.
For E4, I have can't find it in the audit. All right. This was no action needs to be taken on the security pledge release request as it was put into the board packet. Because subsequent to, we sent this out on Thursday and everything, and then subsequent conversations with Kyle King, the auditor, they were able to work it all out, and he was, Mr. King was able to work within the bank and his independent bankers bank people, and they were able to fix their dilemma on these pledging these securities. I had a long, detailed, Mr. Aldridge, this is from Kyle King. I had a long and detailed conversation with Mr. Meneminger about this change, and I feel more comfortable with what is going on now. It wasn't clear to me at the beginning, but basically, this is a change of approximately $167,000 in pledged collateral amount. They are asking to replace one of the marketable securities that is currently pledged to us with another security of close to equal value. The bank does some cleaning of market inventory toward the end of the year to make their balance sheets work. They select different marketable securities that they can sell to meet their needs. Just so happened that one of the funds they identified was pledged to our account. So they are basically asking if it's okay with them, if we are okay with them giving us a different security of close to equal value to replace the security that they wish to sell. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to go ahead and authorize this transaction and would be more than willing to provide copies of this detailed pledging report to the board for their meeting on their Tuesday meeting. So he is, and he has the report there. Essentially, this was a bond that the bank was holding, and they were using it for collateral for our monies on deposit. and it was a mortgage bond. The mortgage bond holder or company was paying that out, so they were buying back their bond, and the bank was selling it back to them because it was at less than the 80% par value, and I don't know a lot about that stuff, but they were doing it because it was going to make them more money at the end of the year, the bank. And so we were just a position as a small shareholder in this, and they had to come and ask permission from the Board of Education, not the Board of Education, but from the school district, to release one and take the other one, which is at the equal or same value when they get that purchased. So you can see that the pledged security and the release pledge says 10 million down here par value, but actually it was 1,470 some thousand. So it was not a real $10 million. So, and they're coming in to pledge that security with $4.3 million bond. And so Mr. King advised as treasurer to go ahead and execute that so that the bank could move forward and we could have our full collateralization. So that is what's happened. And so it really turned from an action item into an informational item for the Board of Education.
On the next page, could you explain that, please? There's 4 of them.
The Viking Sparks. Okay, that's our pledge inventory report. And this over here. All right. Total par, I mean, okay, basically, it's very faintly highlighted. You'll see that the second one down, the pool number 082417.
Okay, 4 million.
The 4.29 million is the pledged par value. All right, and that's on the $10 million face par of that bond, that collateral pledge. All right, the book value that you can see there is 4.476. So it was reaching that amount where the bank was, they were not making as much money off of it, so they were getting ready to sell that. So moving from 4.294 million on that bond, they are replacing that with another bond that has the market value of $4,300,222. So it was above the pledged par value, and so Mr. King was comfortable with that. We have $250,000 of FDIC insurance, and the other collateral values that we have total up to $8.103 million on total deposits of 6.707. So we have collateral value covering our collateral value of $8.1 million covering our deposit value of 6.7. Now, they just kind of moved one bond from one to another. Sorry, if I'd have gotten it straight, it would have been an information item and we wouldn't have had it up there in the motions, but it took a lot of conversations to get that to that point, sorry.
Okay, so there's no motion to be
No
made
motion.
on that. Thank you. Going on to E5 then.
Make a motion to execute State Farm insurance release and waiver regarding the HVAC damage at Parkview caused by Aldred flooring.
That was Brenda Cagle that seconded.
Table? Thank you.
Communications on that one.
Well, this is the one we've been waiting for. State Farm is asking us to release them in consideration of full payment for the repairs that were done when we had the damage caused by the sander that came in and did the sanding on the gym floor. I worked closely with Montefusco, who was the contractor. Montefusco was the contractor who was put in. Montefusco was the contractor that put in the units up on the roof. So worked closely with them to make sure that they were covering it and covering the districts, you know, totally here, because we only have one shot at it. So if they screwed something up down the line, I wanted Montefusco to tell us that so that we could get that fixed, whatever it might be, you know, because this is our one shot to get it fixed. So they did all of that, and actually they came in under their original bid. Didn't take as much labor and it didn't take as much Freon, so they came in under bid, which made State Farm happy. Doesn't matter too much to us other than we're fixed, and Montefusco is happy with the fix, so we just need to execute the release.
Discussion? Bottom line, we're covered.
It is. It's already done.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Linda Bailey.
Aye.
Pam Griner.
Aye.
Brenda Cable. Aye. Val Reagan.
Aye.
Julie True.
Aye.
Rebecca Kern. Aye. Judy Strong.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Action item E6, please.
I believe it was requested that these were to be tabled until the committee of a whole meeting, is that correct?
Well,
Linda, wasn't that one of your things?
right. And
Discussion would be good before we did a first reading, but that's up to you guys.
well, if you do the first reading and then we refer it to the committee of the whole, and you have your discussion, then at the next board meeting, you hit your 30 days and you can do your second and be done with them. I mean, that's the way.
But how are we
Can be
going to
done.
know what we're approving when there's options in there? We don't know.
This-
How can we do a first reading without knowing what options we're going to select? Kind of backwards.
On the last section, didn't we discuss them first and then the next
Yes.
meeting have a first reading and
Right,
you
because
don't
they
want to do
were,
it that way?
because we were in the position of, these were coming to you at the committee of the whole, the beginning of the month, and so we didn't have that meeting, so.
We have a
However you want to do it. I mean, it doesn't matter to me if we do it this way, if we do it, you know, I am flexible and open.
Well, if we do a first read, we approve a first reading tonight, we discuss
your
it at the
discussion.
committee meeting,
Right.
and then we can make changes.
Make your changes.
And then we approve it in the second reading, right?
Wouldn't that be another first reading?
Yeah, because you changed things.
It's on the table. I don't believe so. I
Whatever you guys
conferred
wanna do.
with Mr. Aldridge on it also, because most of these are rather old.
Yeah, they are.
And they differ greatly. And some of them are coming down because of new rules on personnel. And heading into our evaluations and our contracts. I personally believe that just placing them as a reading has nothing to do with the discussion that we'll bring, but they're there, ready to go, so that, because we have so many more to do. There's a bunch more that are coming at us.
Would you guys be comfortable with doing it
I have
now
no idea.
and
I mean,
going back through and doing it in the committee?
as long as we're not gonna get FOIA'd on it and called illegal. I mean, I don't know. I mean, as long as
So they can
it's
just,
legal to do,
you
then
can just
let's do
refer,
it.
you can just refer the policies to the committee of the whole
Yeah.
and start there. It's easy enough to do. That was the original intent when we didn't have the Monday or the,
Okay, so I make a
Beginning of the
motion to
month,
table them.
Second. Roll call.
Linda Bailey,
Aye.
Pam Griner,
Aye.
Brenda Cagle, Val Reagan, Julie Troop,
Aye.
Rebecca Kern, aye. Judy Stone.
Nay.
Motion carried.
Okay.
Got 20 minutes.
Moving to communications. And I believe I start this discussion having attended that full-day presidential training. A couple things I walked away with, and one of them was this evaluation. They believe that there's like 4 or 5 different instruments. In the packet was the one that I'd like to give each of you one. At the bottom, it gives a little bit more information and why it is effective for school boards. Input back. And you don't sign it. It looked like on the one that was in the package you signed that there's no signature that needs to be applied to them. But it's input back so that the agendas can be in agreement, and if there's things that you feel that need to be addressed, we can begin to address those possibly through the committee of the wholes also. So I give that to you. If you deem to participate in it, just turn those in to me this evening after the meeting. I think you'll find that it's an easy read and a quick scoring.
Are you wanting to do this after every meeting?
I do, and like I said, there's many more forms too, so we can vary them. There's like 4 or 5 different forms, so I'll probably vary the different forms, and it's not mandated or anything. It's just a suggestion to the boards to try to bring cohesiveness to the group. Any other questions? Having done that presidential seminar workshop, they presented a coupon to the district, and that's what also is talking in there, where you have $100 off. If there's a seminar training that we so deem necessary through the IASB to come here to our district again. So if you have any suggestions on what you might want that used for or training, please either let Mr. Aldridge or myself know. Comments on that? Thank you. I believe we had, do I see it on down? We do have communications to the district.
Yes.
That the secretariat can kind of go along with our communications to the community.
We have a card from the family of Thomas Jean Sapp. Acknowledge with deep appreciation your kind expression of sympathy. Thank you for the beautiful plant.
And for those that maybe don't know that, I also inquired. He was our prior auditor from the Office of Bauman and Associates. Okay, is the next one yours?
Righty. Yeah, the next one. I apologize for it being so small. We printed it offline, and but it is on the website, and it's just it's a nice article about Joan Millicent's junior high class and her multiple abilities classroom. These are our students who are cognitively challenged a little, and so they have taken the past few years and have done a turkey Thanksgiving feast, and I will say that it was a great day, and the reporter from the Pekin Times came in and took pictures and interviewed and left it there, and it was a good activity for the students and for the families that came in and participated, so it was nice. Okay, State's Attorney's Report. If we go to informational items, the State's Attorney's Report, as you know, a while back, earlier this year, the school district's office was burglarized. An individual was arrested and was found or pled guilty or found guilty, not quite sure. But he was charged with residential burglary. We received this letter from the Tazewell County State's Attorney because we were one of the victims of this person's felony, and it just shows that he was caught and sentenced and will now be paying for his crimes.
Not very much. I was just looking at thinking, really?
Yeah, a fine of $500. Really.
130 days in jail? And you just like,
Yeah, well, guess they have bigger fish.
Considering this is also related to mine, which cost me thousands of dollars on the little phone, but he's only got that on his son's.
yeah, it's like you could have said public service. Moving on.
I'm sorry.
Scrub floor or something.
There you go.
When the storm went through, as you know, we lost power over at the Parkview School for the day, and I've given you a list from Ms. Davis, our food director, showing the losses that we had for the power outage. So showing you that we lost $584 worth of perishable goods during the tornado outage. So it was unfortunate, but it did give us insight into one of our refrigerator units that was not properly sealing. So we had to get that fixed because it was not holding temperature. It should have held its temperature for the period of time, but it wasn't. We found that out through this process, unfortunately, and had to get it fixed. So
That's why.
So we
There
just
you
dispose
go.
of this, we dispose of it, or how did we handle this? I want to make sure no one took it home and got sick, that's what I'm asking.
Okay.
Trying to be very careful.
Okay, yeah. And I was trying to come up with something really clever where
Okay.
I took it home and ate it all that I can.
Okay.
Get a
No,
piece, huh?
yeah, really. No, I'm Ms. Davis and the kitchen staff over there, because she's pretty to the letter and stuff like this, especially when it's above temperature and all that kind of stuff. So I imagine they just threw it out.
Good.
She didn't tell me, I didn't ask, but I imagine that's what was going to happen.
What is the school's?
Donate it.
What is the school's deductible? Is it
Was this an insurance claim, I was asked? The deductible for any kind of claim like this, if it was even something that was covered, we didn't even look, would have been $1,500 anyway, so $600 wouldn't have came out, and so we didn't bother to look and see if it was a covered event. This month we received a FOIA request, and we're requesting bills and payment lists for the renovations of the Litchfield building, and as you can see, the request is here in your packet, along with the district's response, but obviously not all of the documentation, but they were scanned and sent to the requester and any Board of Education member. Didn't I send those to you?
Yes.
I did copy you guys on that.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Everybody's got that.
5 emails.
That's, I know, it took me. I know. It wasn't taken in one lump chunk. I don't know what the heck happened there.
1, 2, 3.
All right. Let's see. What's here? Well, it says computer purchase, but I don't have a. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. We purchased some really nice laptop computers from the Federal Warehouse in Springfield this year, this past couple weeks, and we are going to try to get more. I will let Mr. Jokic explain this in his principal's report, but he does not have a principal's report because he's not here. He's attending his daughter's musical over at her school, so I let him go, being that was much more important. Actually, ladies, school board, we were able to purchase 60 Dell laptops that were 2 years old, refurbished from the Federal Supply Warehouse, upgraded and run as fast, if not faster, than the laptops that were just purchased retail last spring. We were able to procure these computers. We purchased 60 of them so that we would have 30 computers for each school lab. All right. I wanted to buy the other 150 that were there, but the guy wouldn't sell them to me, so we got 60, and we thanked our lucky stars and got out of there. For those 60 fantastic computers, we paid a grand total of $30 a piece.
That is much better than $7.
That's right.
From the last time.
$7 a month.
$30.
$30, yeah. Holly, how are they?
They're wonderful. We've been using them all week. The kids walked into the computer lab. They're like, where'd all the computers go? Because we had the big desktops in there. I was like, it's all laptops now. They've been like, they've been loving them.
School.
That's awesome.
30 at each school. And we did that because he wouldn't sell me more. He wouldn't sell me more. I really tried. We wanted to make sure that we had them in place for Parkview first because of the park testing and the technology testing that is going along with that. So we want to make sure that we were up to speed there. So we set their lab up first, and then yesterday, Mr. Jokic and I went down and purchased the other 30 for LaSalle, and it will be they will be getting their lab set up in this next, hopefully before school starts again. Depends on the scheduling of the consultants and everything, but it is there. The reason I really wanted them for LaSalle is because that's where they do a lot of their map testing, right? And they use headphones. And so I bought them new headphones as well, not down there, I bought those out of the catalog. But I bought 30 new headphones because the ones that they had were the ones that you get at, I don't know, I mean, they don't even sell these, they're so cheap, they don't even sell them at like Dollar General. You know, it's the stuff that they give away to you because they don't even like it. They just fall apart, they're the squishy foam, and the kids pick.
Yeah.
All right, so I bought the vinyl ones. I spent a little extra, got some decent, sturdy headphones. We are putting into place, not me, but one of the teachers is putting into place an accountability system so that the kids aren't making off with them. They're going to be numbered, and they got their little bags to put their stuff in, and that's attached to that computer. And so we're going to keep track of it. We're going to have some, some pride and ownership, I guess, is what I want to see from kids, and so that it's just not being ruined and wasted. So that's going to be, one of the things there. But the computer purchase was pretty outstanding, and it was a very nice Christmas gift to the school district, and I was glad we were able to do that.
So did Mr. Wendelin ghost these computers?
What's that?
Did Mr. Wendelin ghost these computers before they were used, or?
No, there didn't need ghosting because they came pretty much ready to go. We just needed to install the map software for the map testing, and we took off the old version of Office and put the new version of Office that we have here at the school district on it, and basically installed Firefox on them for another browser. Other than that, and Lexia too, put Lexia on.
So all of our Microsoft certificates are good, or
Mhm.
the software that we
Yeah.
purchased?
So what are we doing with the old ones that was mentioned?
Well, it was brought out. Do we want to let the teachers have them in their classrooms, to have an extra computer there in their classrooms and everything, and that's fine with me. I don't care. But if they are just, nobody wants them and they're just junk, Mr. Wendelin he's got a place that he takes it, because you can't just throw them out in the dumpster. So he has a place to take that stuff too. So, but really, they don't even run in the classrooms. They don't even run the software that we have.
So as long as you watch the software and any information off of it. Once he dumps them.
We don't keep anything, it's all on the server.
Yeah.
And having said that, are we probably at a time for our intermission and the program?
Yeah, because we don't have any questions on here.
Are we almost done?
I can wrap it up real fast, but
3 minutes.
Oh, yeah, we have those.
Okay. We don't need a motion for that, I don't believe. We just, or do we?
Yeah.
We do need a motion?
Yeah.
Motion to recess.
Yeah.
let's go to
Motion to
recess.
recess. All right, then let's go with the
Correct.
motion, please.
I motion to recess.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean,
Right.
we could do, yeah. Or we can get out Robert's Rules of Order and find out exactly what it should be called, and, do all
Who made the
that.
motion?
Me, Brenda.
I second.
Linda
Linda
second.
Aye.
Linda Bailey. Pam Griner. Brenda Cagle. Val Reagan. Julie True.
No.
Rebecca Kern.
You don't want to recess?
Judy
No,
Stewart.
I just want to get done. But
Make a motion to resume.
Second.
Okay.
That Holly, Becky,
Yeah, just a second.
Roll call, please.
Linda Bailey.
Here.
Pam Griner.
Here.
Brenda Cagle. Val Reagan.
Here.
Julie Troop.
here.
Rebecca Kern, yes.
I
Judy
thought-
Stewart.
Yes, I mean, not here.
Yes. Motion carried.
Kind of, it's kind of like that. All right, back to you, Mr.
Okay, well, I'll move through this a little quickly. School route safety survey. As a part of our responsibility with the partnership with the village, we sent out a survey to the parents regarding their thoughts and feelings about how their kids get to school, leave the school, how long does it take. The survey page is in here for you to look at. But just asking, some basic questions to give the village engineer some data to then compare once they put in and get the construction done. They'll do another survey and see if there was, what had changed, if anything, on the attitudes of the parents and the students. And so we took care of this, and we're hoping to have a 50% return rate by this Friday. There was a alert now that went out today reminding everyone to get them in. So we'll wait and see what happens. I've gotten quite a few, so I'm kind of happy about that. We're moving along.
You bring a report, I'm sure, to us.
I will put it in my weekly report. Item 6, G6. This is our supplemental educational services, which is the tutoring and supplemental educational vendors who we have to provide our students access to because of their free and reduced lunch status and the fact that we did not make AYP the previous year. So we're in this status now, and I had a parent meeting on November 25th that had 3 vendors show up, and about 15 families showed. So, you know, there was a good expression of interest from our families, and the next step here is to put together all of the families with the vendors that they've chosen and get them connected so that the vendors can then schedule and start their tutoring processes and move the kids forward. I did include one of the flyers from one of the vendors there, and this is one-to-one-tutoring.org, which is you know, an online service. So you can see how they're kind of advertising theirs. No driving hassles, one-on-one basis, dedicated tutors work with you exclusively, timing of your choosing, schedule at your convenience, and tablet and internet provided, which is a computer is provided along with internet access. I don't know how that works, but that's what they say. Don't ask me, because these guys, that's all them.
So do we have to pay for that though, reimburse the tutoring company?
No, we have the State Board of Education, remember we have that set aside money?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll take that money and pay for it.
We just pay them, these people, we just pay them, it's a per hourly rate that's set by the State Board of Education, and it's up to $958 per family. So there's a cap on it.
Well, and I was wondering, you said 15 families showed up. Now, can more families sign up? Because
Well,
someone was asking me today about it, and I said, I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about it.
Right.
As far as like the process, I said, you need to call the superintendent and see.
Or Ms. McCardle, which would be the better.
Well, this is for Parkview.
Then Mr. Jokish would be, the building principals would be the ones who would have.
I thought they did that already.
Mm-hmm. The parent?
The comment was they did that already.
All right. The issue is that letters went out back early October. Then there were deadlines that had to be met. November 25th, we had the parent meeting. December 2nd was the cutoff to put in your application. There were one call alert nows sent 4 or 5 different times. Notice is not an issue in this matter, okay? So unfortunately, at this time, it is closed because, you know.
And it did go out to all the parents.
It
No.
went out to everyone.
No.
I don't think it went out to everyone.
It
That's
does
what I-
not. It went out to every, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Every person that receives free lunch.
I think so, yes.
Free and reduced lunch eligibility.
Yes.
Oh, maybe that's why this parent didn't get anything.
Okay, that
Right.
could be then. Okay, it's
I-
free and reduced lunch eligibility. That's the eligibility part of it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had to.
So that was, okay, I
Okay.
didn't know
Oh, I'm
about that
sorry.
part.
I'm sorry.
No, I didn't know that you
Now,
had to
I
be free
do,
reduced.
and I may be wrong on this, but I think that at Parkview, they do have tutoring that everyone is eligible for.
Now
After school.
that's after school
Right.
tutoring, and that's with the Department of
Health and
Child
Yes,
Yeah.
over there.
Tazewell County Health
Tazewell
Department.
County Health Department.
Thank you. So we do have that going on, and we will be starting our own tutoring here at LaSalle after Christmas break.
Well, so if she calls,
She
I just
missed the
told her to just
deadline,
do it.
and
She
it's
could
an
do it probably
eligibility.
anyway.
Yeah, it's an eligibility.
She'd have to be like me, hire tutors for you kids.
Wasn't there a church that was doing it at Parkview too? Or is that
I
a?
thought Title I, I thought we were district-wide Title
I
I.
just know that they have,
It has to be free.
One through,
We talked about it earlier.
by
For
Tremont,
this- for this
the health department, yeah,
Yeah.
I know about that one.
SES.
I don't know about the
That's fine.
church.
Yeah, no,
I
Title
just know
I.
in Meet Your Teacher
Title
Day,
I.
there was some church there.
Title I
I mean,
grant.
understood.
The whole grant is all students, yes, okay? This specific program, the supplemental educational services, is 20% carve-out that we have to give to the lowest students, lowest performing and eligible through free and reduced lunch.
Okay, I was just thinking it was like ISAT testing and stuff.
And we had to
No,
budget
this is for-
30,000, right?
Actually, yeah, it went up to 35.
It went up to 35, we talked about it in the budget.
Okay, so I just informed her, and I don't know if she's free and reduced.
Well, and that's the thing, if she did not receive or didn't know about any of that, she probably did not qualify, yeah.
Did you receive one as a board member?
No.
I didn't think I did either, so that kind of confirms,
Not the all calls.
yeah.
You said there were several all calls. We
I
didn't
didn't
get the
receive
all
all
calls,
calls
so.
either.
Right.
That's, okay, that's
For
because it was
this
only
one,
sent
yeah.
to the ones, we had, I had Mrs. McClister
Which is a good idea.
Sure.
went down the list and just picked out one, and so we only sent it to those families, and we only sent the phone calls. to
Makes
those families.
sense.
That's why it does get confusing.
Okay. we
You
didn't know
know,
that.
Until people hear about it and say, why didn't I get it?
Sure.
You know,
Well,
Now
it's
you know.
unfortunate that everyone that wants it can't have it.
I understand.
There are other
completely.
programs in place, though, I guess, is what you can tell them. Check with the school principals.
We have a student teacher who has started with Mr. Bradford's social studies class and included her courses and her education courses. Ms. Bauer is in her final year here, I believe, and is with him. And while Mr. Bradford is a first-year teacher in our district who has, what?
Mr. Bradford, he's been here for a long time, he's tenured.
Bradford. Who am I
He's a
looking
history
at?
teacher.
Are you thinking of Mr. C?
Yeah, I think
Mr. C has one today.
Mr. C has one. Okay, the student teacher. Mr. C. All right, so there you go.
We did.
Even though he's a first-year teacher, he does have 11 years' experience from other school districts, and so when we, but that guy's on he's not a full semester.
But then I guess our
He's like-
policy, do we just have a policy that says?
Tenured
That's why he's trying to
Right, only
explain.
tenured teachers. can
Tenured
have.
teachers,
Right.
okay? All right. The guy's got 11 years
I'm just
teaching
asking,
service.
is that
okay?
against our
Are you
policy?
saying, is it against the policy? He's not tenured in our district, so I guess it is.
Okay.
All right.
Just wondering.
Might be.
You just,
You can look up it.
it doesn't matter.
No, I know it's against the policy, because we said only tenured teachers, I'm sure. We
Okay,
just
I'll
passed
tell
it a
him,
few months
I'll
ago.
tell him to quit. I mean, the guy the teacher has the experience. What does it matter if he's taught here for 3 years or 5 years? If he's taught 11 years as a teacher.
Then we should change the policy to
Yeah.
fit what we're going to do.
The policy was wrong. We didn't have the insight, did we?
No, I'm agreeing with the policy. I don't think the policy's wrong.
Okay?
Is it a policy
Then-
that you guys say, or is it a policy that was handwritten?
Then the superintendent did not follow the policy. Okay? The superintendent did not follow the policy and placed a 6-week student teacher with a veteran teacher who's only been employed in this school district for 1 year and does not have tenure in our school district.
Is it
So-
junior teaching or just?
Okay.
Junior teaching.
Yeah, it's only 6 weeks. It's a smaller, it's not a full, full semester kind of thing. So,
Not a student teaching position, it's a assistant.
I don't know what else I can say, Miss Greiner. I don't know what I can say, Miss Bailey. I don't know what I can say, Miss Reagan. It is, you know,
You made the decision.
you make a decision, and then I come and everybody's.
I didn't know anything about it. I'm just asking a question. You're the one who's going really kind of a little bit.
It was very nice. Your comment was, you did put it in our.
I appreciated that.
And it probably should have been brought up, yeah.
I
it probably should have
appreciated
been
the
brought up.
information on the
Right, I'm just
revenue.
asking about,
I know.
Yeah,
My,
but the comment is, it probably should have been brought up too.
and,
No.
and this is
Before.
probably.
I didn't know that until I got at the board meeting just now.
You didn't see it in here or read the.
No,
It's
this
not
is-
in here.
No, it's a
fine.
different. It's a different.
This is Mr. Bradford.
Oh,
Mr.
right.
Adams is fine.
The,
I see what
Mr.
you're
C.
saying.
the
one
student
with Mr. C.
teacher that Mr. C has, did you interview him?
No, Mr. Jokish did.
Oh. And I only know this because I have a student in his class, and this may be a problem not just for my student. He speaks with a very heavy accent.
Okay.
And so when my daughter came home the other night, she didn't know what her homework was because she couldn't understand him.
Okay.
So we may need to say something. I don't know.
He'll,
I don't know.
he'll be done on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He'll be done Friday.
That was the first.
Okay.
She just, you know, that was the first I've heard of it, and so.
Okay, let me understand then. This person worked with Mr. C the first semester, the
Mm,
student teacher?
no, not the first semester. This past 4 weeks.
So they're not going to be
Pardon?
working
This
here
is
the
the
second
first, she's
semester?
mentioned it.
No, Rachel Bauer will be.
Okay,
Yep.
so it's a done deal?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was coming up.
Oh, no, no, no. This-
That's a done.
Well, okay.
Okay. Very good. Meetings with community leaders. I kind of already talked about that in my report. Earlier report, having met with the village board secretary and village treasurer, police chief, just trying to establish some contacts with the school district, with the community, and community leaders. You know, if Creve Coeur, the village of Creve Coeur is wanting to move forward, you know, the school district has to be an integral part of that conversation. So I don't know where that conversation is in the community, but I haven't received any kind of welcoming or here's what we're doing or anything like that. What's the school district think? So I decided to jump out and find out myself and try to move it forward. I don't know, have any of you been on realtors' websites lately? Realtors' websites and some of the generic realtor websites, they have a number that they classify school districts. And what's the first thing that someone moving to a new community looks at to decide to move there? The school district. Exactly. Right? Does anybody know what our real estate realtor ranking number is?
It's probably pretty low.
It's 2. It's 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. Okay. Dunlap is 8. So there, you know, that gives you a kind of a standard. The only way, the only way that we're going to be able to bring more to the community is to bring more to the school district. So I'm reaching out to the village and trying to, the community leaders and the business leaders to say, I want to be a part of that conversation. I think the school district has something that we can do and we can offer. You guys need to know what we're doing so that you can talk it up. Okay? If that's not a direction that the board wants to take, that let me know. tell me now, so I don't, spin my wheels and go out and try to make a lot of contacts and do some things in the community if that's not what we want. So
I would think the village would want to support its largest business.
I agree.
So,
well, and it's not that. I guess I'm asking the board. The board is this something that is worth me, as your superintendent, pursuing? Is this something that you want, or is this something like, no, you need to go and you need to stay in, and you need to figure out, where the Litchfield construction money is, or you need to stay and find more $30 computers, or I guess I'm just asking, is this something that's important for the board?
I think that's a part of what's important, along with finding us $30 computers.
You already did that.
And saving $7 a month, and you already fixed toilets, and I think, you being our overall marketing lead for the school and the community is wonderful, in my opinion.
The rating scale, did you find out how they rate it? Is it financial taxes? How they are rating school districts?
Different sites do it different ways, but there are some commonalities that they look at. Yeah. So
I'd like to see that rating scale actually.
So,
Well, if we go from, being at the bottom level on our testing, and we start to raise our testing level, why isn't the realtors taking notice of that?
because
I think
Not
that's
on the
something-
rating scale. They're
I think
not
that's
rating
something
us
to-
by that.
that they are part of it.
But it is.
I looked at it before and it did go off as it
And the thing is that as we
It might take a couple of
improve,
years for
and
them to
as we
take
improve
notice.
over the next couple of years, and as our city leaders aren't arguing in front of everybody all the time in meetings. I'm talking about the village board and stuff as well. Maybe it's an overall better feeling about Creve Coeur and some of the publicity with even the stuff in the Keeping Times. It can't help, it can't hurt. Hey, say go for it. If you get the city behind you. It hasn't happened before. I think it would be incredible if we start seeing some improvement along with, our kids improving, our image improving in the school, our city image improving. We might attract people to come and people to stay, and not so much of the kids that are transplants going out. Can't hurt.
Because we used to have, 5 school buildings? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, when I went to school. Now we have 2.
If we attract more businesses, isn't that going to lower our taxes at some point? I'm not the,
I think if we start educating our kids to the highest level we can and doing what we're supposed to be doing as a school district, it'll improve our schools. It'll speak for itself. I think we need to focus on education and academics here. And then if we focus on academics and education and our kids learn more and they are proving they are through test scores and going to the high school and showing how well our kids can do, I think that will speak for itself.
but I also don't think that it would hurt to have somebody else.
Right,
Be
represented.
our
Yeah, it is
liaison
good.
to-
In the past, we've always had superintendents and principals be very involved in the community. I remember going to community events, and such as Mr. Botler, he was always there. He was, he was at
quite a few too.
a
so
lot
I
of the
think
events,
that's
right.
great. And I don't know what's happened over the last 10.
Mr. Bennett was at a lot of events for the community. We've had a lot of people here in community events, and I think that, I think it's a great idea, and they see him in a different role, in a different spot, other than just always being in the district. But I
you
think,
have our blessing on that. Kind of sounds like it to me.
Number 9 is the facilities maintenance reports, and we did have a gas leak that was found in the gym heater up there, so we had to rent a lift to be able to get up to the ceiling to change out a gas valve that's in one of those heaters like up here. It was leaking, and Ameren came in and shut off the gas. So we had to get it repaired quickly so that they could turn the gas on, so that they could have heat in the building, because they were the boiler works with gas, I guess. So, but it really didn't work, because when they turned the gas back on, Ameren didn't turn the boiler back on or relight the pilot light for the boiler. So the next day it was still cold. And so I had to call the boiler guys to come out and restart the boiler and get some heat to these poor kids over there. So the LaSalle roof still leaks. I called Kryling again, and since the snow and wind and rain and everything, they were up there and were patching and everything, and I went up on the roof to see how they were doing and what was going on, and there were places where it had pulled away and needed to be repaired, so that was a needed cost. But now they're trying to figure out where it's coming in from, or if it is residual water that is gotten inside and still kind of dripping, and whether it will evaporate on its own. So
No damage was done inside the building then?
nope. Tile floor, and everything's fine with that. So that was okay. Just kind of annoying, you got water drips over here and there. So they have to mop or wipe them up every once in a while. We have heating issues here with our boiler getting down to that end of the building because of the air pressure locks that we have, and the way that it's in the ceiling. The guy explained to me is that he's crawling up in there and putting in some relief valves that will let the heat, instead of condensating and staying in one spot and getting an airlock, and it stays in, all that heat stays in one classroom and doesn't get disseminated to the other ones. So he's building in some pressure relief things that will get rid of the airlocks, so that the water and vapor will move around and we have steam heat in all of our classrooms rather than just 2 of them. So I thought that was a good thing. Then there's a water fountain, and it's fixed, so we'll see how long that goes. Parkview, there's a heater pump malfunction in a classroom and had to be cleaned out. Luckily it did not have to be replaced, because it was actually just some kids had stuffed pencils in there and stopped the fan. What can you do? Junior high kids. Junior high kids.
Sounds like it.
Well, I'd say there's principal reports, but Ms. Kuchokish is not here, and I told you his good news, and Ms. McCardle is celebrating her good news with all the little kids in the other room. So that's really no reports for that tonight, and that's all we have at this point for public session, I believe.
Okay, moving into a motion, please, for closed session.
Make the motion to enter into closed session for the biannual review of board executive session minutes and appointment, employment, performance, and termination of personnel.
Second.
Roll call?
Linda Bailey.
Aye.
Pam Griner.
Aye.
Brenda Cagle. Val Reagan. Julie True.
Aye.
Rebecca Kern. Aye. Judy Stahl.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Send it back.
Make the Motion to resume regular session.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Linda Bailey,
Aye.
Pam Griner,
Aye.
Brenda Cagle, Val Reagan, Julie Troop,
Aye.
Becky Kern, yes, Judy Strong.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. We need a motion for K1.
I make a motion to maintain the confidentiality of the following executive session minutes. November 19, 2013, November 5th, 2013, October 15th, 2013, and September 24th, 2013.
I second.
Roll call.
Linda Bailey,
Aye.
Pam Griner,
Aye.
Brenda Cagle, Val Reagan, Julie Troop,
Aye.
Becca Kern, aye, Judy Strong.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Moving on to K2, motion to release the following executive meeting minutes, please.
I make a motion to release the following executive meeting minutes for public access. August 20th, 2013, August 21st, 2013, July 16th, 2013.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Linda Bailey,
Aye.
Pam Griner, Brenda Cagle, Val Reagan, Julie Troop,
Aye.
Rebecca Kern, aye, Judy Strong.
Yes.
Motion carried.
K3 motion, please.
I make a motion to create 2 new temporary educational assistant positions under the collective bargaining agreement terms for the remainder of the 2013-2014 school year due to the increased student needs.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Linda Bailey,
Aye.
Pam Griner,
Aye.
Brenda Cagle, Val Reagan,
Aye.
Julie Troop,
Aye.
Rebecca Kern, aye, Judy Strong.
Yes.
Motion carried.
We need a motion, please, for K4.
I make a motion to add Mr. Mario West to the on-call maintenance staff list at a rate of $18.50 per hour as as-needed basis.
Second.
On as-needed basis.
Linda Bailey,
Aye.
Pam Griner,
Aye.
Brenda Cagle, Val Reagan, Julie Troop,
Aye.
Rebecca Kern, aye, Judy Strong.
Yes.
Motion carried.
We need a motion to adjourn,
Make
please.
the motion to adjourn.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Linda Bailey,
Aye.
Pam Griner,
Aye.
Brenda Cagle, Val Reagan, Julie Troop,
Aye.
Rebecca Kern, aye, Judy Strong.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Adjourned at 8:06.